Hello everyone, welcome back to Age of Empires 4 commentary. I am Beyond, and today we have something a little bit different for you today. We have two pro players taking on the 2v2 top of the ladder. Today we have Beasty playing in the yellow, playing as the HRE across the way. His partner today is Corvinus 1, playing as the Malians in the pink. Now, across the way, their opponents sit as the orange player, as ZG Light, playing as the Mongols. And up top, his partner in crime in the blue is Kowski, playing as the French. French Mongols, pretty early game-centric civs. And then, of course, we have the HRE, which is not looking to fight in feudal. Beasty has videos out on himself, knowing that the HRE is not the best in the feudal age. And then down below, the Malians. Typically speaking, they can play in any age, but they usually like that cow boom strategy. Let's see what these pros take into any 2v2 style of games. Now, I know a lot of you have been asking me for 2v2 style games, so here we go. We're going to see what the pros do. Could be a little bit interesting to see how their take is on the 2v2 meta. Hopefully we see some pretty interesting strats. And of course, these two across the way are both Conqueror level and above players in 2v2/team ranked, so they probably know this pretty well, and they honestly, it's going to be some trade. I wouldn't be surprised to see if we see some trade coming out of it, especially out of the Mongols and French players. There's going to be some strats that we haven't seen before, which is always nice. We see an early barracks coming out, and there's some spearmen, so we're going to get some cheeky spearman rush going on over here. Looks like two are going to be coming out to put pressure on the Malians, which are susceptible to that early rush because they have to go out and get these pit mines. We've been seeing it a ton in 1v1, so not shocked that we're seeing it in 2v2s as well. Now, just a quick look at the map. It does look like a pretty advantageous map for HRE. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 relics right nearby Beasty over here, so he's going to be sitting in a great spot. The Arcane Chapel is being dropped in between berries and this little patch of trees over yonder, so a nice little spot, and it's in the backhand side, so he can defend that a little bit longer. HRE players are susceptible to that early game rush, especially if their Arcane Chapel is kind of out and about, so we'll have to wait and see. Now we'll go back over here where we have a little bit of the spice going on. We do see a villager popping out, but Corvinus 1 sees that right over here. I can just click on anyone that I would really like to see. It's going to be ZG Lights over here, but we can always change to whoever. But we're going to be seeing the old tower rush coming in from our friends over ZG Light. Going to be making a little bit of a but we do see the counter tower, the ultimate tower, if you will, the Sahara Trade Network. Now, we've been seeing this a lot more. We haven't seen this, sorry. We have not seen this at all very often in 1v1s, but I do like this for 2v2s for a lot of different reasons, mainly because of the trade aspect of the 2v2 gameplay, and it just protects you a little bit if you're going to be going for a little bit of a later game build. 2v2, if you do not build early defenses, you're going to be in for a really rough time. Now, in my beginner's guide, if you haven't watched that, I would highly recommend going checking that out. But my beginner's guide, I mentioned quickly, in 2v2 you kind of want to focus on 1 or 2 units so you can focus on that upgrade path. We'll have to wait and see if Beasty and Corvinus kind of synergize a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see Malian poison archers and an HRE either knight or men-at-arms frontline. I think that could be a very, very viable and very, very strong strategy. Unfortunately for ZG Light, this tower is not going to be going up nearly as fast as this one, so none of these villagers are going to be able to be picked off. Only is going to be getting 1 house for their troubles. There it is, dings up, and there we go. I think they're going to be actually losing. They will lose 1 of the spearmen, and now this outpost is going to get absolutely ruined. So not really the greatest of investments unless you want to consider the Sahara Trade Network going down, so we can pan over to Corvinus. Corvinus is sitting at an okay spot at the current moment. Not too worried about anything like that, and with the Sahara Trade Network landmark is going to be absolutely chilling. Now, if you have made it this far into the video and you do enjoy my videos, please do consider dropping a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton to get it pushed out into the algorithm. And then number 2, it really, really does help me. I'm so close to 1,000. I think I'm only like 26, 27 away, so it would really mean a lot to me if I can get to that number quite soon. Now, besides the shameless plugs, we can go check out on our French player, the blue base. We have seen a few knights pop out, and here they are in tandem. Just kidding, it's the scout in tow. Looking to see if they can harass this early gold from Beasty. Beasty's looking like he's going for that early castle age, which is not a shock. We also see a Mongolian outpost going out, which again is not a shock either. Beasty will be losing one villager, but they might be taking down a knight, which is not worth. First of all, that's Corvinus. I was like, what is going on there? But Beasty's going to be able to see this. I believe this is plenty of in range, so I wouldn't be surprised to see if Beasty goes out and torches this with a bunch of villagers. But we do see about a total of 11 in tow. Another knight is coming in, but losing that early knight is really, really rough for the French player. Now, these villagers are going to be playing Ring Around the Rosie. They will be... Oh, a nice block there. Unbelievable play from Beasty, completely negating out the second chomp taken out of that villager, saving them completely. Now, Beasty is not able to actually do anything about this outpost over here, but I believe we'll be able to get just enough just in time before it goes up to actually go up to Castle Age. So he's going to be hard chilling, and it's going to be also be able to transition to a safer gold vein back over here. Now, this French knight did not get enough damage near the Mongol player to either Beasty or Corvinus, which looks like they'll be going for a later game build. And that is the kind of dichotomy of 2v2 at the current moment. I haven't played a ton. Is that not in range? No way. Is that really not? Oh my god. Look at that. They're all just perfectly outside of range. That is absolutely devastating. And now it will get the arrow range increase, but that is going to be too little, too late. There is the Burgrave. We have a burger sighting. Here we go. Like I said, BC could just move back over here or back over here. We do see another little French knight raid going on the backhand side, so they are getting some decent value over here. And ZG Light is kind of chilling, has a full setup going on over here. No trade just yet for either side, so we haven't seen any shenanigans like that going down. We do see that the just a Musafati warrior rush coming in for Corvinus. Corvinus is going... I think there's 5 of them queued up, going for a little bit of Musafati raids. We love to see that. Now, this Burgrave is going to be hitting like an absolute truck across the way. Nothing can really stop it. We have a few knights over here, but once that starts cooking, it's going to be really, really tough to stop, especially with this Musafati in tow. More knights stopping any wood production at all, if you wanted to think of anything at all. And look at that. Do you see these cows over here? So Corvinus actually built this over here so that BC can get safe food. That is a next level strat, and we absolutely love to see it. BC probably also sent him some gold for his troubles. Like, hey, you need some gold? I got you on that front. And here comes the burger. The burger rush is coming in. Not really a rush. It's really a harshest statement. That is just a fast castle, and we're going to be seeing men-at-arms absolutely printed. HRE are just known for their printers. They have the House of Swabia, the Palace of Swabia, which is known for printing villagers, and they also have the Burgrave Palace, which is known for printing men-at-arms and infantry units. Now, BC does not have enough gold because of this kind of outpost over yonder to actually do anything about it. But we're seeing that the 5, 6 now men-at-arms are now moving out. See if they can do a little bit of damage over here. But this many French knights are going to put a stop to this quite quickly. They are looking to get some actual engage on these villagers, but that is not where you want to be at the current moment. Corvus is actually bringing over his army as well, which is all Donzo, which means these French knights are going to have to back away. BC's going to be able to take this front side gold, all 8,000 of it, completely cook the Mongol soldiers inside of it, and now Beasty and Corvinus are sitting in the driver's seat. Oh no, these knights are going to be taken down quickly as well, which is super, super unfortunate pathing there for the French player. Does have the ability to heal up, but it does unfortunately lose one to all those Donzos, and now the Khan is in their sights. We can check over here to see Corvinus' build. We see a few of these Musafati running all around. They are the ones that deal with the knights, and now BC is looking to put on the aggression into this French base. We can see that there's only one TC over here, and they kind of went all in on this stable and early play. Same thing can be said. No, ZG Light just popped Castle Age as well. What is this? This is the Curl Tie. It's making its way over here, trying to put a stop and trying to help their French partner. We can see a double outpost going on over here to protect this gold vein, which would be absolutely devastating if taken down. I'm assuming that Beasty and Corvinus assume that there's trade going on, but they're going to be pretty relieved when they see no donkeys going back and forth, and that's kind of what they're scouting for. As you can see, they're like, there's got to be something back here, right? Really? There's no donkeys? All right, well, we'll just keep sending more and more burgers. The lads are going to be moving out. There's the monastery coming in, and they will be able to easily secure a few relics here for Beasty. Corvinus is also doing in a great spot, has about 9 Musafati warriors over yonder, and now Beasty is just diving. These men-at-arms are tanky. They have +1 range armor as well, coming in from the blacksmith upgrade, and the next armor is going to be coming in, I'm assuming, very, very shortly. We can see that now the French player is completely out of gold. Nothing he can really do at this point, but we do have crossbone for the Mongol player, which can make Beasty fall back because these guys cannot take a full battalion of crossbowmen that are moving out. So ZG Light is really helping his partner out, saving the day. This is what you guys got to do if you play 2v2s. You got to save your partners. You got to come up clutch and make your way and move out to make sure you can get the job done. Now, Deerstones are coming in, but we have a bandits. We have the Musafati warriors on the backhand side, looking to cause a little bit of trouble. Beasty and Corvinus do find some outstretched French, I'm assuming, to get some gold or these deer over here. But remember, the biggest thing about French is that they are always susceptible to getting attacked due to lack of food resources. Now, this battalion of crossbowmen over here is going to be able to clean up pretty much everything, but that's also going to allow BC to move out, get some relics, which is producing more and more prelates, and here they go. They're going out on the map to collect what they need to collect. We do have a herd of horses back here, just majestically running through the countryside over yonder. The Kurultai is being dropped out front. They assume that they're going to go for maybe an all-in with that burger play. So definitely going to be interesting to see if BC kind of goes further in on this play. It doesn't look like it. Looks like we have a kind of idled Burgrave, which would assume that we're going to be going for another age up relatively soon. HRE special, going up for that fast Imperial age. Not the fastest in the books. We saw BC go up to Imperial in like 10 minutes before, so not as quick as humanly possible, but still a quick one nonetheless. We do have more getting involved over here. We can switch to Kolsky and not doing super well. We have 41. Let's see if I can actually pull this up. Income per minute, we can see that ZG Light is doing well. Beasty is leading, and so is Corvinus. So it's not good when Kolsky doesn't have anything over here, which would imply that they don't have the most they can possibly have. And they're not doing as well as the others. Now, we do see that ZG Light is kind of chilling over here, really helping out his team, but these Musafati warriors have made their way all the way around, and the French player is not really ready for this. Again, they're pretty much stopping trade, and there's the first trader. There is the first donkey. Do we have any donkeys over here? We have no donkeys over here. So this is the first lone trader for ZG Light, making its way, packing its bags all the way across the desert. It's going to be very, very sad to find out that it will be met with a lot of people. Now, this is exactly why these are pros and they're not. We do see a little bit of aggression, a little bit of poke damage going down for these crossbowmen, a lot of range units. The Kurultai is getting into position, looking to stop BC from getting this forward gold, and he's going to be able to pick off a few, actually none go down, but this is not a fight that you want to take. You do not want to take crossbowmen into a tower. It's never going to go well, and the con actually goes down. That's a huge get for BC and crew. And we can see that Corvinus and BC have now found the trade completely. This one mace man-at-arms can be doing a lot of damage. We can see that the French player is also trying to stop trade, but that's not where they're going just yet. The Malians don't have to go there just yet because they have the passive income from the pit mines. So they're pretty much chilling. We have a nice engage over here, but this French army is nowhere to be found. It's way down here. So this is a 2v1 and with no front line. As I said, this is a good strategy. So we didn't get the exactly thing that I predicted, but we see javelin throwers and men-at-arms, and that is the comp at the current moment, which is a great comp into what they have going on over here. Javelin throwers completely cook these crossbowmen. And the men-at-arms can play a nice tanky build for those French Knights to just do absolutely nothing into. We do see that the French Knights are getting some good value. They got a nice raid over here. I don't see any carcasses on the ground for the horsemen. So it looks like it was a nice solid trade for the non quote unquote pro team. Now we see Beasty is now starting to get even more relics. He's full to the brim. Is going to have 5 and 6. So this HRE player is going to be, you don't want to give Beasty 6 relics. That is not the play in the slightest, but I mean, it's the play for them. If they can get it, they can get it. We can pull this up really quickly, and Beasty is now starting to really accelerate his old gold income, and with the Burgrave Palace, he's going to be able to send streams of men-at-arms across the way. And we can see the French player is idle time because they're out of food, even more idle time causing over here. They're looking to move everyone out. The prayer tent is up here. They did secure one relic. Finally, one relic, but that's not enough crossbowmen to actually deal with this mass because there's no front line for them. They have nowhere to actually deal with, especially with these javelin throwers, which completely ruin this army composition. The French Knights are over here defending the Mongol base, but now they have to move their way over here just so they can help defend and get in on these javelin throwers, which will be the pivotal moment of this game. Because if these javelin throwers are able to take out these crossbowmen before these men-at-arms are able to get a surround on them, that is going to be absolutely brutal. Now we can see the French are finally here. There are a few spears, but not nearly enough to deal with that, and that is what this composition looks like. So we have javelin throwers and men-at-arms into French Knights and Mongol crossbowmen. Now the French Knights are going to get a nice surround on the javelin throwers, and that will be the end of this fight, and that is why the French Knights are such a good unit. Underrated completely, LOL. They make this look so easy. French Knights are also defending this trade line nice and easily. And there we go. Boom, boom, boom. The traders are starting to make their way across. We see no trade over here for Beasty and Co. just yet. Corvinus is also moving forward with his Donzo army, and Beasty is also spreading out his forces as well. So now they're attacking on both fronts. We see some men-at-arms because he knows he needs a little bit of front line. And now they're attacking these front structures that are producing all those crossbow. We see a line of men-at-arms constantly going into the French base. This is just a death by 1,000 cuts, attacking from all sorts of sides. The crossbowmen have made their way back, but this is a quite large army, and these men-at-arms do not care at all if a TC is firing upon them. They're just going to keep going in and causing tons and tons of economic and production damage. Now, I will say the French Knights were able to hold off on their own base. They're going to be making their way over here, but this is a whole lot of Donzos, and the Donzos are already preemptively surrounding this Kurultai and not letting it go up. So it's going to be completely stopped in its tracks before it can really do anything. We do see some scouts, some javelin throwers are picking off villagers as they go, and here comes the boys. The boys in blue have made their way over, but they realize that is a full pack of Donzos. That is not worth in the slightest. We can move over to Beasty. Beasty has plenty of income coming in. Same with Corvinus, sitting at a pretty decent spot. 85, we have 71, 79, and 69. So Beasty and Corvinus are definitely sitting in the driver's seat. Castle Age is reached by Corvinus, so everyone is now in Castle. We have a few Sacred Sites are going up, and there's just so much action going on. French Knights are clearing this up, and BC is getting more and more maced men-at-arms into this trade line, and they're just bonking these traders down like a bongo drum. We see that Corvinus is pushing his advantage as well on his side of the map, torching any production building that's in his path. We see the Sacred Site victory might be the ticket they're waiting for, because you can really turtle a lot in 2v2s. You can see a lot of stones being collected on the backhand side by the French player, which means we're going to be seeing a keep eventually, and a keep with a bunch of knights. You can only imagine doing the math there. I will say an absolute well put up fight so far from DG Light and Koski. These are two of the best pros in the business right now, especially with BC. There's the Palace of Swabia, so has all the printing machines available for the HRE. This has been an exciting game and really shows off the 2v2 dynamics of you really need to help protect and defend your partner early on. BC and Corvinus went for an early game build, but they built the early game defenses needed, and they helped out their he helped out the partner. Look at, they're still buying cows over here. So Corvinus is really fully supplying this full-on men-at-arms rush, which the HRE struggle with the most is food, and Beasty is able to subsidize that with his Malian counterpart. Now, they are into this trade line. A nice move here from ZG Light, moving this out of the way. But it's going to be really, really rough once these Donzos get in and they find the first one. The trader does make it out just in time, but Beasty's guys are guarding the front door. The front gate is being taken out, and now these knights have finally gone in, but there's going to be more and more streaming across. You can see that there's going to be a constant battle, especially with this large force in the middle. 15 javelin throwers, 6 Musafati warriors, and 14 Donzos. And now they see the full trade line, and hopefully we can see that this army moves out over here, try to get a little bit of damage. We can see that the French player has now moved his villagers fully into the other side of the map. We can see that there is a nice raid from the French player, doing a ton of damage on all these villagers, getting a lot of cleanup, and this is the power of the French in 2v2. If you don't know French in 2v and you play a lot of 2v2, I would highly suggest you look at that. Look at that gruesome scene. Villagers going down left and right. A scout goes down in their honor. Rest in peace, that horse. But now we can see that BC is actually, unfortunately for the French player, did not have the best micro in that one circumstance. It just takes 1 second to be cut down. A bunch of horsemen, a bunch of knights have gone down relatively easily. Corvinus still has a major group of units just hanging out in the middle of all of this. But the reason that these two are still in this is because of the trade. Trade is so strong, and we do not see any trade just coming yet from Corvinus and Beasty. Almost like they're trying to prove a point that you don't need trade, but I mean, hey, we're all not pro players, so trade it up if you will. And I do like that each side has kind of focused in on one unit, which is, as I mentioned before, can truly get a lot of your upgrades that you really need. Beasty's going for that pretty much all infantry, which is spearmen and men-at-arms. Corvinus is providing that range support, and just also a little bit of everything. I think the Musafati warriors are mainly just for raiding, so his main forces are Donzos and javelin throwers, which is to be expected. And then obviously the French are just going straight French knight, and the Mongol player is providing the ranged mass, which I don't really see anywhere. There it is. I don't know what I'm talking about. They have men-at-arms and crossbowmen doing a lot of damage. Now we can also, the French knights are cleaning up the constant stream of yellow dots moving in on their front door, but these men-at-arms from the Mongols are pretty tanky at the current moment, and they look sick. The Mongols men-at-arms look amazing. You don't see it too often, but they look incredible. Beasty's being propelled backwards from this keep, as mentioned before. The French were getting a lot of stones, so it's to be expected. Corvinus still has his army over here, not defending his own base, actually, just making sure that the trade stops. Knows full well if he can keep this army over here and stop the trade, they're going to be in a very good spot. Now we can see that this army is now moving in on the rest of the production. They're trying to get down as much as humanly possible for what they did to the Mongol player. Traders are now going vertical, but they're going to start going through Corvinus' base, and that is not something that you want to be doing as traders. So hopefully they can reassign that trade post over there, because there's a lot of these lads going to their death. This poor donkey, it just doesn't know what's getting into him at all, and now they see the mistake, and they hopefully can start to pull them back. But at this point, they're also moving in. That's a lot of villagers. And this army is pretty scary and very strong. The French knights are doing so well into that pure military mass over there from BC. And now these men-at-arms are they're going to absolutely cook these Musafati warriors. Musafati warriors are fast and are great in numbers, but they're not that great in this short of numbers. But Beasty comes up big and comes in for the surround on the backhand side, and that should be enough to clean this up. But the curl tie actually might go up in time, which I think will give the Mongol player this advantage. We can switch over to Corvinus. Corvinus has suffered a lot of losses, only 9 on food at the current moment. The Malians doesn't have any pasture, so no really passive food either. So Corvinus is hurting. This Mongol player did a lot of damage. ZG, Light, and Koski are showing exactly why they're so high up in the rankings for this 2v2 style, but Beasty is Imperial, age 4 for so long, almost double the score of everyone else in the game, showing why he is a true master of, and we see the stone walls. Oh my goodness. No one wants to see those, but in a 2v2 it feels nice and safe. Trade is fully up and running for this Mongol player. Going to be moving this curl tie back. These lads are still a little bit lost, but the donkeys are going to donkey. You know what I'm saying? They're just going to go. Maybe they do get out. I don't know. You never know. We'll have to wait and see. We can see that these French knights are still moving out and about. They can see that this wall is fully up and moving. And the curl tie is actually trapped. It can't move. It can't get out of here. They realize this fully, and this army is not that big, so it's not really going to be able to withstand any kind of pressure. But they're now moving in on even more of Corvinus's villagers and really putting them behind, which is not good at all. French knights are moving all around Beasty's base, and they're really starting to get a critical number. So this could be looking good for the other side. They've really hindered Corvinus, but they have not hindered Beasty. Beasty's putting up a wall across the entire map. This curl tie will just barely escape before this wall goes up. And now we have the French knights that are moving in. Just get a little bit of knowledge, see what's going on, try to cause a little bit of havoc. But once BC moves out into an actual ball, it might be really rough. Unfortunately, the French knights are not paying attention, and they run headlong into a bunch of donzos. This is the worst case scenario, the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals for the French. That is a very expensive army, completely evaporated for really nothing at all. And those are Imperial Age spears. Get away from them. Run as fast as you humanly can. The curl tie is moving into position. We don't have too much going on over here, but just a lot of random units scattered about. The men-at-arms are exactly who you want to be fighting, these spearmen. This is a nice fight over here, but look how tanky even these spearmen are. They have +3 ranged armor, and here comes the rest of the boys. We have 3 Landsknechts also in the mix to really do some damage. You can see just how much and how impactful these Imperial Age army is. BC is still the only one in Imperial. We'll have to wait and see if ZG Light is close. Not that close. We can see if Koski's close. Not really close. So BC is the only one that is close to Imperial Age, even with the trade going on. And now they have a nice run on the curl tie. So BC has made a very important and pivotal landmark completely useless for the Mongol player, and it's on their side of the map. BC's harassing some trade, but the French knights were able to pick it up quite quickly. And now we see the Mongol players really settling into this trade line. Let's go take a peek over here. 5 and 6, but BC's doing a good job at kind of taking it down fully. So we'll have to wait and see if he can keep that up. But I would just have to imagine that if Beasty can kind of move out in one solid number, then it could be the thing that pushes them over the edge, just moving out with this massive group. But at the same time, I mean, the Mongol player has a lot of trade going on. We have a ton of French knights, so it's not going to be as easy as it comes. We'll have to wait and see what happens. We see that the French knights were actually walled off by BC. Very, very clever play here. And now these French knight masses are going to be going down quite quickly. BC does not mind trading out knights for villagers at this point. The Palace of Swabia is able to print whatever he needs. And now it's just going to be a ton of units moving out all around. Even a direct hit didn't do much at all. But now the French knights are going to be moving in to try to do a little bit of damage. The mangonel is going to be nice into this Malian army. Very susceptible to a mangonel push. But Beasty helping out his lad, moving out, going, you know what, just feel safe, okay? Just drop a keep down so we can get a little bit of defenses in your coordinates, and then I can just start releasing men-at-arms streams into their base constantly, and this is what we see here. Even more harassment is going down. BC is now moving out into the trade line with all of these forces, and it's also going to find the French farms. Actually, sorry, we were a little bit zoomed in there for I don't even know how long, but just a tick, so it wasn't too bad. But this is brutal for the French player. They're starting to produce even more of these trades. It looks like BC is going to be going just in for the traders, or is just going to be going to burn these down. What are we doing here? You can also see that BC's forces were caught up by these French knights, but again, another nice trade. BC's happy to take these trades all day long. Koski is starting to get a really nice mass of knights going on, but is also running into Donzos left and right, which is not ideal. These are a lot of low health horsemen, and these Donzos are going to be able to start shooting spears very, very soon and take them down one by one. The first volley is going to be going out. There it goes. And just enough not to get it out, so it does actually get out. And there's silence on the map for just for 1 second, and Beasty's forces are actually taking out these markets really quickly. Look at how quickly these are going down. To every single volley it goes down by like 300. Another one's gonna be going down right there, and let's see if Beasty can get the last one before this army is cleaned up. It's gonna be very, very close, and it will be a pivotal moment. But with Beasty sees all these horsemen, guess what he does? He moves in everyone, and this mangonel is gonna be taken down quite quickly. They're gonna be able to just 2 over there. It's gonna be able to beat it down. Look, he just sends 2 units. Oh, just kidding. And now they move back over there, and it's gonna be, and the Lance Neck just one beautiful uppercut takes it down. And once this keep goes down, all these units are gonna be start to stream over, and there's another forward keep. Beasty trying to take all the stone on the map and really assert dominance. Now it's going to be able to be a constant stream of units. Corvinus is also moving out with his large force. They're going to be taking out the French player. They see where the knights are. They also know that they're fully walled off and they can't be counter-raided, which is the scariest part about playing the French. And now it's just going to be, and there is the GG's. Beasty and Corvinus take the dub without trading. That is a beautiful example of just how cool you can get with interactions with a 2v2 player, like utilizing that the Malians have an ability to print food into the HRE, which are incredibly strong late game, so if you can just get them there, and utilizing, who is a really, really solid player like Beasty, and just get him into Imperial and let him cook. What a great game. Hope you guys enjoyed the 2v2 content. I know you have a lot of you have been asking for it. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I hope you have a great night.